What's up everyone, back with another Jam Movies video, and today we'll be talking about comic book movies. The year of 2017 will be filled with many comic book movies, either from the big blockbuster franchise movies or to the smaller ones like Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, or even to the animated ones like Teen Titans Judas Contract. There is so much to look for in 2017, but in this particular video, we will focus on the specific one, which is gonna be the franchise blockbuster movies from both DCEU and MCU specifically. Two blockbuster comic book movies that has come out this year is Logan and Batman Lego Movie. And those two movies has been really great, especially Logan. Logan is very tear-jerking, emotional, amazing adventure to the ending of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine career. And it is such a great movie, if not one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. And so that inspires me to think, like, from the upcoming remaining movies, which one do I think will be the best? For this particular list, I decided to choose 5 movies from DCU and MCU. From the MCU side, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man Homecoming, and from the DCEU we have Wonder Woman and Justice League, and I will break them down and list them from the worst to the best in terms of where I think they will stand critically. What we know from all these movies is we've seen the trailer. Lucky for us, it's still early in the year, but we've seen all those trailers for all those movies. And so this video will be fully speculation and my personal opinion of which I think will be the best, since we haven't really watched it. The closest one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is coming out around next week. So hopefully I'll be able to watch it then and make a review then. But as of now, I haven't watched any of these 5 movies, so it will be fully speculation and opinion. You might have a different one. I would love to hear what you think about it. But first, let's get to my list. Number 5 in this list is Justice League. First of all, Justice League is arguably one of the most iconic superhero / comic book team up we ever see. Yes, there is Avengers, there is Fantastic Four, X-Men, Inhumans, Teen Titans, Guardians of the Galaxy, but nothing even match how famous and iconic Justice League is. There is so much famous characters and well-known characters in the Justice League, from Batman to Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Atom, I could go on. And that is all in the Justice League. This is actually the first time we will see it in the big screen and live action, which is personally my most anticipated one of the year, because I've been dying to watch this movie for quite some time now. I like the Justice League. I've been following it since the Justice League Unlimited series. It's an animated show which I really enjoy. So I grow up with these characters and I really want to see it in the big screen and how they unfold. However, despite my anticipation for this movie, I do think it might be the worst out of the other 4, because one of the reasons is Zack Snyder is directing it. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a bad director. He's an amazing visual director. His movies are always visually amazing. He can do action, he can do CGI effects really well, but that's pretty much it. From his 2 DCEU movies, which is Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, like I said, both visually amazing, but they do lack story. It have great concept, but the script writing and storytelling, the pacing, it seems to have issues with it. This worries me as a moviegoer and as a passionate Justice League fan, because I want to be invested in these characters. The reason why I like the animated series was we get to know each of the characters well, and you feel for them. You're invested in their characters and in the storyline because it's so well written. And if Justice League doesn't have a well-written story with characters that we cannot invest in, then people will not go to watch more of these movies. The reason why Avengers work is not because of the iconic characters. Maybe now you know who Captain America and Iron Man is, but back then, before the movie came out, nobody knew who they are. But Marvel managed to step by step build it up, and when Avengers come, people know and are familiar with the characters due to the characters' personality and their growth, and as well as good stories. And this is what I want to see in Justice League. Great story with compelling characters, because this is the first time we actually see the Flash, we see Cyborg, we probably will see Green Lantern, we don't know yet, and we will see Aquaman too the first time in this movie. So I really want to see how the characters can grow and how they will implemented in this movie as a start. Moving on to number 4 in this list is Spider-Man Homecoming. The reason why I put it at number 4, well, let's talk about the positives. Tom Holland, if not the best Peter Parker / Spider-Man combo we've seen in the big screen. I like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, but Tom Holland is like a legit replica of Peter Parker from the comics. Me myself, I collect and I read comics, and when I see Tom Holland performance as Peter Parker first in that apartment in Captain America Civil War, his awkwardness in the apartment, it fits Peter Parker so much, and he's a geek too. And when he goes to the battle in the airport scene and he like fanboys over these heroes, that is so Peter Parker and so Spider-Man, how he talks. I'm so excited for this movie just to see him as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Yes, we've seen him in Captain America Civil War. He's great in that movie. But this is gonna be the first time we're gonna see his solo movie, Tom Holland starring it, and the first time we see Spider-Man in the MCU. So I wanna see what MCU can do with this movie. I'm really looking forward to it. And the other characters and cast are also great. We're gonna see Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr. again in this movie. He's going to be like a father figure to Peter, because I'm assuming, of course, Uncle Ben is dead in this universe, and Peter has gone past it, and so now he's looking to Tony Stark as his father figure. And I want to see how their relation goes, because their dialogues back and forth in Civil War is really great. And also Michael Keaton playing the Vulture. Michael Keaton is such a great actor, and he's playing a character that we haven't seen in the big screen, and one of the best Spider-Man villains, the Vulture. So this is gonna be really interesting. We're also gonna have Zendaya, which we still don't know who she's playing. We have Tony Revolori playing Flash Thompson, and recent news, Angourie Rice, she's going to play Gwen Stacy. And I'm a fan of Angourie Rice. I like her performance in The Nice Guys, so I think this is gonna be something to look for. The reason why it's number 4 in this list and not higher, out of all this positive that I've mentioned, is possibly that there is a Spider-Man fatigue. It's not necessarily gonna happen, but we have 3 Spider-Man reboots in the last few years, and the last movie was 2014, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that's only 3 years away. People might get tired of Spider-Man. That's just speculation. I'm not sure if it will really happen, but that's one of the reasons, and people might compare it back and forth to the other movies, and that might drop the value of the movie-going experience. Personally, I don't know. That might happen, but I also hope it won't have Spider-Man fatigue, because I'm really looking forward for this movie. Next up in this list, number 3 is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the first female lead superhero movie in this golden age of comic book. Before you go in the comments ranting, oh wait, there is Catwoman and there is Elektra. I said golden age of comic book movies. We are in the golden age of comic book movies, my friend. Right now, MCU, DCEU, every other comic book movies is... Everyone's wanting to see superhero and comic book movies come to life in the big screen, live action. Yes, we've seen Catwoman and Elektra, but that's in the past. Surprisingly, this is actually the first female lead, which I expect it could have happened sooner, but finally we have one in Wonder Woman. And I think Gal Gadot, even though she's not really a good actress, I think she can play the part, and Patty Jenkins, who is a great director, I've seen some of her work, not all, so I'm not really familiar with her work, but I've seen some of her work, and I believe she's a good director, and she could make Gal Gadot become great in Wonder Woman, like how James Gunn did to Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista is not really a good actor, but he makes Drax really good. So I'm hoping Patty Jenkins can do that for Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. This movie is also set in World War I, which surprisingly, not a lot of war movies take place in World War I. We've seen a lot of World War II, but this one is World War I, so it's gonna be a little bit different, which I'm interested in. We also have Chris Pine playing Steve Trevor, who's a great actor, and I'm really interested to see the Wonder Woman Diana Prince interaction with Steve Trevor, because they're love interest. Also, this movie have the most freedom in terms of DCEU, because it's not really connected in the timeline. It's far in the past in World War I. It's not connected to Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League chronologically. Like, it's a lot that those 3 are lined up, and also Suicide Squad. Those 3 are lined up, but this one's way back in the past, so they have more freedom to express. They're not really constricted to the timeline. Yes, there will be subtle hints maybe, but they're not really constricted. So like I said, there's more freedom to go and explore what Wonder Woman is. The only reason it's number 3 is because first, I'm not that familiar with Patty Jenkins. I know some of her works, but I'm not really familiar. And also, this goes also to Justice League. I'm afraid there will be studio interference with Warner Bros. Because rumor has it that the reason why BVS and Man of Steel and Suicide Squad feels choppy and tone feels off is not only just the director, but there is lots of studio interference from Warner Bros. Itself, which personally I think should be limited. Especially, yes, in this kind of movies you need to have a direction, like how Kevin Feige managed to direct MCU, and there is studio interference, but directors are free to explore what they want to do. I think there should be a limited amount of studio interference, but not to the point that the movie will become completely different from what directors perceive it to be. Number 2 in this list is Thor Ragnarok. You might question me, why Thor Ragnarok? The first two Thor movies aren't that great. Thor 1 was alright. The second one, it's not that good. But why am I so excited for the third one? Well, 2 words for you, my friend. Taika Waititi. He's directing this movie, and I've seen his work. I've seen his work in Hunting for the Wilder People and What We Do in the Shadows, and I enjoy it. He wrote both of those movies, and he actually also wrote part of Moana's script. And all those 3 movies are great in terms of story. I don't think he's writing this movie, but he's directing it, and he knows how to do comedy. And I really think his vision for Thor Ragnarok fits the tone. The first 2 Thor movies they take it very serious, and I think going to a more lighter comedic tone, I think it would work for Thor. Even though Ragnarok means doomsday in terms of Norse culture, and at first I initially expected to be a even more darker Thor movie, but after seeing the trailer, it seems lighter and it seems like a lot of fun. It feels Guardians of the Galaxy-like, which makes me more anticipated than I already am. Because Taika Waititi, and also because of the tone that the movie is going. It fits Taika Waititi's style and the comedy, and it stars Chris Hemsworth, which is actually a really funny guy. His comedic timings is good. He's the only good thing in the Ghostbuster remake. So that's one positive. And like I said, the characters and the cast in these movies, they're really great. We're gonna have Thor, Loki, Hulk. Odin is supposed to be back. My bad. We're gonna see Doctor Strange, rumor. We're gonna see Grandmaster played by Jeff Goldblum, which looks weird and funny, but I think it fits. We're gonna see Valkyrie. We're gonna see Executioner. We're gonna see Cate Blanchett as Hela. Cate Blanchett, an Oscar-winning actress, as Hela, as a Marvel villain. That's a really good thing. And there's great cast and great characters, like I said, in this movie, with a great director, with an interesting tone, and it's also supposedly related to Infinity War, which makes me more interested into it. And I feel like this movie is gonna be under the radar because it comes out in the same month as Justice League, which is in November. People might miss this movie. People might watch Justice League and they might not want to watch this movie afterwards. But I think this movie will be under the radar, and it will be the underdog sneakily that people will be like, whoa, this movie was great, how come I didn't watch it in theaters? Well, probably they will watch it in the theaters, but like I said, it's in the same month of Justice League. That might cause some trouble for financially to make the money in the box office. But I think out of all these 5 movies, Thor Ragnarok might be the one that's most under the radar by other people. Personally, because Thor in the Avengers probably one of the weaker characters in the Avengers in terms of character. But I think this movie have a lot to prove, and I think it will be great. Number 1 on this list is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You might expect this, you might not, but personally I think this will be number 1 of this year, aside from Logan. I don't know if they could top Logan, but I think this, out of the 5, this will be the best. The reason why we love and enjoy the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie is because it is a fun space adventure. It's so different. Nobody knows these characters at first, but now everyone knows this character and they love them. And that's the thing, it's the characters and the jokes, the comedy, the great story, the amazing visuals, and the great performance by the cast, and great writing by James Gunn, and great directing too. And also the soundtrack and the scores, it's so different from the other MCU movies, and people enjoy the hell out of it. And that is what I'm looking forward in the second one. It's very similar in terms of from the trailer, we know that they're gonna do the soundtrack thing again. Awesome Mix Volume 2. And we're gonna see the same characters that we love. Also Baby Groot. We're gonna see Yondu in the Team Nebula too. We don't know who the villain is. That's the thing that's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see Kurt Russell is in this thing. Stallone is in this thing. all these familiar characters that we've seen before, Drax, Mantis, everyone else is gonna be back. New characters, new songs. The tone is gonna be bright and funny. I'm really looking forward for this movie. James Gunn is a great director, and Marvel give a lot of freedom to their directors. What they do for Marvel, from what I see, is Kevin Feige give them a direction. Okay, by the end of this movie, we will need to accomplish this, but you can do it however you want. And which is why all the Marvel movies seems different and seems unique as an individual movie, but it achieved a goal that sets up for the bigger universe. So yeah, in this movie, I'm looking forward for similar thing but better. Twice the fun, twice the action, twice the amazing song. It's gonna be a lot of fun space wild adventure. Also, out of all these movies, I think this one will make the most money. First of all, cause it's in May, early in the summer. People will be looking forward to it. Also in May, the biggest competition for them is Alien Covenant and Pirates of the Caribbean 5. It might be some problem. But then again, in June and July, there are bigger films. Cars, Atomic Blonde. We're gonna see Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. In November, both Justice League and Thor Ragnarok. And that's pretty much it, I think, in November. But in May, I think it have the most potential to make the most money. Also, it's released early in May, so that's a good thing, before Alien Covenant and Pirates came out. So I think they will make the most money. And like I said, they have a lot of freedom, lots of fun that Guardians could do well in this movie. Also, what I noticed from MCU movies is that Marvel have two weaknesses. First is the score and soundtrack. I feel like their score is lacking. Yes, we see iconic core in Avengers theme, and Guardians theme I think is one of the better themes of the series. But if you think of the other themes in the series, nothing really stands out. But from DCEU, Wonder Woman's theme already stand out, even though we only hear it probably like once or twice in Batman v Superman. And that's a good thing for DCEU. And also the color grading is another weakness by MCU that DCEU managed to top. If you compare side by side DCEU movie and MCU movie look more bleak in color, while DCEU movie looks great in color. But Guardians of the Galaxy, if you see their trailer and also Thor Ragnarok trailer, both of them, it seems so different than the other MCU movies. It seems so much brighter and so much more colorful. The color grading, the contrast pops out more. And also, especially for Guardians, we know that their score and soundtrack is going to be great. Their theme is awesome, and we know their soundtrack is going to be great with Awesome Mix Volume 2. And top with the color grading, I think this is going to be, if not one of the best, one of the better MCU movie to date. I think it will be great, so that is why it's number one. So guys, what do you think of my list? Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you do, tell me in the comment section below. Which do you think should be the best, and do you think will be the best? Which do you think will be worst? If you have different opinions, well, that's the reason why this is just purely speculation. I would love to hear what you think in the comment section below. Tell me your personal top 5. Which one do you think will be the best of this year? Like I said, that's my list. And tell me in the comment section below what you think. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed and want to see similar content. This is different than what I usually do. So if you like and have lots of views, I might do something like this even more. Subscribe to me if you want to see more videos, of course. And until next time, Jiao out.